Imagine this, a 13-year-old boy, no money, no food, no home. He walked for 2 years, 470 kilometers, alone, sleeping under trees, eating scraps, working for strangers just to survive. Today, that boy's name is worth $500 billion. You're wearing his brand right now or dreaming about it. Louis Vuitton. But here's the crazy part. He didn't just get lucky, he made one decision that changed everything. A decision so bold, so risky that it could have destroyed him. Stay with me for 10 minutes and I'll show you exactly how a homeless boy became the king of luxury. This isn't just a success story, this is a masterclass in turning pain into power. Let's go. 1821, a small village in France. Louis Vuitton was born into poverty. His father, a carpenter who could barely feed his family. His mother, a hat maker who died when Louis was just 10 years old. At 10, Louis lost everything. His father became cold and distant. There was no food, no comfort, just survival. While rich kids played with toys, Louis was carrying heavy wooden planks, hammering nails, and sleeping in a freezing house with a leaking roof. But Louis was different. Every day he watched rich travelers pass through his village. They wore beautiful clothes, they carried fancy wooden trunks. And Louis thought, where are they going? How do I get there? At age 13, Louis made the craziest decision of his life. He packed a small bag, no money, no map, no plan. And he left. Destination? Paris. Distance? 470 kilometers. Time taken? 2 years. He walked, day after day, week after week. Sometimes strangers gave him food. Sometimes he slept hungry under trees. He worked as a farm helper just to survive. Rain soaked his clothes, cold winds burned his skin. But he never stopped. Think about that for a second. Most of us give up after one rejection, one bad day. This boy walked for 2 years with nothing. That's the difference between dreaming and achieving. Finally, Louis arrived in Paris. But Paris wasn't magical, it was harsh. Dirty streets, beggars everywhere. No one cared about a poor village boy. Louis had no home, no food. He slept in abandoned carts. But he refused to give up. One evening, he saw a man struggling to carry a heavy wooden trunk. Louis ran forward and helped him. That man owned a luxury trunk-making workshop. He looked at Louis and asked, "What do you want?" Louis said, "I want to work. I will work harder than anyone else." The owner smiled. "Fine, start tomorrow, but no salary yet." Louis didn't complain, he just worked. He swept floors, he cleaned tools, he watched the master craftsmen work. And every night, after everyone left, Louis stayed behind. He practiced, he built, he learned. Months passed, years passed, and then people started noticing his work. This boy is different, his trunks are perfect. One day, a woman walked into the shop. She wasn't just any customer, she was Empress Eugenie, the wife of Napoleon III, royalty. She looked at Louis and said, "I need a trunk, but not like the others. I want something no one has ever seen before." Louis took a deep breath. This was his moment. He had an idea that would change everything. Back then, all travel trunks were heavy, round-topped, and impossible to stack. Louis said, "What if I create a flat-top trunk, covered in waterproof canvas instead of leather, light, stackable, and elegant?" The Empress raised an eyebrow. "Can you do it?" Louis nodded. "Yes, I will create a trunk unlike any other." For weeks, Louis didn't sleep. He designed, he built, he perfected. And when the Empress saw the final trunk, she was speechless. "This is extraordinary. From now on, you will be my personal trunk maker." Boom! Game changed. Suddenly, everyone wanted a Louis Vuitton trunk. Aristocrats, politicians, wealthy travelers. But Louis was still working for someone else, so he made the boldest move of his life. He quit and started his own business. With just $1,000 in savings, he rented a small shop in Paris. He hung a sign outside, "Louis Vuitton Trunk Maker," and the empire began. But success wasn't easy. War broke out, the Franco-Prussian War. Businesses collapsed, orders stopped, Louis almost went bankrupt. But when the war ended, something incredible happened. Everyone wanted to travel again, and they wanted Louis Vuitton trunks. Orders flooded in. In 1871, Louis opened a huge workshop, 4 times bigger than before. He hired workers, he trained apprentices, he expanded. But here's the genius part. Louis understood something most businessmen don't. Sell to the rich, not the masses. Why? Because the wealthy don't care about price, they care about exclusivity. If rich people use your product, everyone else will dream about it. Louis Vuitton became a status symbol. Owning an LV trunk meant you were successful, you were powerful, you were elite. In 1896, to stop copycats, Louis introduced the LV monogram. That iconic pattern you see today, that started in 1896. Louis passed away in 1892, but his empire lived on. His son George took over, then his grandson Gaston. Each generation expanded the brand. Handbags, accessories, leather goods. By the 1980s, Louis Vuitton wasn't just a brand, it was a gold mine. In 1987, Henri Racamier, who ran Louis Vuitton, made a game-changing decision. He merged Louis Vuitton with two other luxury brands, Moet, Champagne, and Hennessy, Cognac, and created LVMH. Louis Vuitton plus Moet plus Hennessy equals the biggest luxury empire in the world. But then, a man named Bernard Arnault entered the picture. He was hungry. He was ruthless. In 1989, he pushed everyone out and took full control of LVMH. And under his leadership, LVMH exploded. Today, LVMH owns Louis Vuitton, Dior, Givenchy, Fendi, and dozens of other luxury brands. LVMH is worth over $500 billion. Bernard Arnault worth over $200 billion, often the richest person on earth. And it all started with a poor boy who walked 470 kilometers with nothing but a dream. So here's the lesson. Louis Vuitton didn't wait for opportunities, he created them. He didn't complain about poverty, he walked 470 kilometers to escape it. He didn't accept rejection, he worked harder than everyone else. He didn't sell cheap, he sold exclusivity. From nothing to $500 billion. That's the power of determination, vision, and never giving up. If you're struggling right now, remember Louis Vuitton. He had nothing, but he became everything. Now it's your turn. If this story inspired you, drop a comment and let me know. And don't forget to subscribe. More game-changing stories coming soon. Let's go.